Project B is targeting some of the highest ranking basketball figures in the world. But what's more important is
the basketball world is on fire. Not metaphorically, this is a full-blown seismic shift. Headlines are exploding, social media is melting down, and fans are asking the same question over and over. What is happening with Caitlin Clark? The young phenom who dominated college hoops, shattered records, and became the face of women's basketball is now at the center of a storm that could redefine the sport entirely. Project B, a new international basketball league funded by Saudi investors, has stepped onto the scene with an audacious plan: poach the biggest names in women's basketball and pay them sums that were once considered unimaginable. We're not talking about a few $1,000,000 here and there. This is the kind of money that changes lives, creates legacies, and shifts the balance of power. Suddenly, the WNBA, long hailed as the premier league for women, is facing competition it never imagined. The catalyst. Nico Gamay, the president of the WNBA, tasked with negotiating fair deals for WNBA players, just became the first major star to sign with Project B, and the message could not be clearer. Even the voices fighting for better contracts in the WNBA don't believe in the league's future. It's like watching the captain of a ship abandon it the moment they see an iceberg. The symbolism is enormous. The shockwaves are only beginning. Now, all eyes are on Caitlin Clark. Her name is being whispered in every conversation, every headline, every tweet. The offers being rumored are staggering. Could a $1 billion deal really be on the table? Maybe. Unlikely. Perhaps. But the mere fact that such numbers are even being discussed signals a tectonic shift in women's professional basketball. The rules have changed, and Caitlin stands at the epicenter. Will she stay loyal to the WNBA, the league that built her platform? Or will she leap into uncharted territory, where money, opportunity, and power collide? This is not just a story about basketball. This is a story about disruption, ambition, and the future of an entire sport. To truly understand what's happening, you need to understand Project B. This is not just another overseas league. It's a meticulously crafted juggernaut backed by billions, designed to challenge the WNBA's dominance. Funded by Saudi investors, some of the world's wealthiest individuals, Project B operates on a scale few could imagine. For context, these are the same people who have paid Cristiano Ronaldo over $200 million a year to play soccer and offered golfers hundreds of millions just to join their tours. Money in this context is not a limitation, it's a tool. And Project B is wielding it to dominate. But the innovation isn't just in the finances. Project B combines elite organization with market strategy. Former executives from Facebook and Skype are behind the operations, building a league that isn't just a paycheck, but a global platform. They're offering players equity stakes, ownership in the league itself, and the kind of professional stability that overseas leagues rarely provide. Instead of juggling multiple contracts across Europe and Asia, players could earn generational wealth playing in one league with world-class facilities, rigorous standards, and massive exposure. And the timing is perfect. Project B's season runs from November to April, aligning perfectly with the WNBA offseason. Players like Caitlin Clark, who would normally travel overseas to grind for extra pay, can now stay in peak form, earn life-changing money, and avoid the physical and emotional toll of endless travel. For top-tier athletes, this isn't just appealing, it's revolutionary. What makes this league especially disruptive is the involvement of WNBA champions and icons as investors. Candace Parker, Elena Del Dunn, and other marquee names are backing Project B, lending credibility and signaling to the world that this isn't a fringe operation, it's a serious competitor. And the financial packages being rumored? Eye-watering. Deals that could make Caitlin Clark one of the highest-paid athletes on the planet. The WNBA has always struggled with underpaying its stars. Project B just illustrated what it looks like when players are valued correctly. This is the new reality. Elite women's basketball players now have options. The power dynamics have shifted. Loyalty is no longer dictated by tradition, it's dictated by opportunity. And Caitlin Clark, the face of the sport, is the ultimate test case. If she takes the deal, the landscape of women's basketball could be transformed overnight. Nico Gume's signing was the spark that lit the wildfire. As president of the WNBA, she wasn't just another player. She was the union leader, the advocate, the one negotiating on behalf of her peers. Her decision to sign with Project B wasn't just shocking, it was symbolic. It sent a message: if even the leadership doesn't have faith in the WNBA's ability to compensate its stars, why should anyone else? The social media response was instantaneous. Memes, viral posts, heated debates. It was chaos. Analysts debated whether this was a betrayal or a strategic move. But one thing was undeniable. The WNBA now faces a credibility crisis. Collective bargaining negotiations, already tense, are now overshadowed by this new competitor offering sums the league cannot match. Gume's move also highlights the economics of women's basketball. The WNBA has long been constrained by budget limitations, media rights, and historical revenue structures. But Project B isn't playing by those rules. They're redefining the market by combining massive funding, strategic marketing, and equity participation. They're not just offering money, they're offering power, prestige, and legacy. For players like Caitlin Clark, this is a once-in-a-generation opportunity. To remain in the WNBA is to accept the status quo, to continue fighting for incremental improvements while the league slowly grows. To go to Project B is to rewrite the rules entirely. And the stakes aren't just financial, they're historical. This is a moment where women's basketball could pivot from decades of incremental progress to an era of bold ambition and unprecedented opportunity. If Project B has a crown jewel, it's Caitlin Clark, the 21-year-old phenom who captivated fans across. America is more than a player, she's a cultural phenomenon. Her dominance on the court is only matched by her marketability off it. Merchandise sales, social media reach, streaming numbers. Caitlin Clark is a revenue engine. That's why every rumor about Project B inevitably leads back to her. Signing her isn't just a statement, it's an entire strategy. She brings legitimacy, attention, and momentum. One signature could validate the league in a way no other move could. Players and fans alike see the WNBA stars being offered life-changing sums overseas. And suddenly, the conversation shifts. What was once loyalty is now negotiation leverage. Caitlin Clark represents the ultimate power shift in women's basketball. Even discussions about a billion-dollar offer, while extreme, aren't entirely outlandish in context. Saudi investors have a history of making splash deals in global sports, often to establish dominance and credibility overnight. While the actual number might be closer to $10 to $50 million, the principle remains. The top players now have unprecedented financial clout. For Caitlin, this isn't just about money, it's about agency, influence, and reshaping the sport she dominates. The WNBA, meanwhile, is caught in a bind. They can't compete with Project B's funding, and appealing to loyalty or legacy only goes so far. Fans want to see Caitlin play domestically, but she also has a narrow career window to maximize earnings. Every decision now carries both personal and professional consequences. This is her defining moment, the one that could shift the trajectory of women's basketball for generations. The WNBA is scrambling. Internally, executives are panicked. Externally, they are trying to project calm and confidence, but make no mistake, the league is under siege. For years, the WNBA has relied on tradition, branding, and the loyalty of its players to maintain its position. Now, that loyalty is being tested in a way that no one anticipated. Project B isn't just another league, it's a direct challenge to the WNBA's authority, structure, and its entire economic model. The response has been predictable, yet telling. The league is emphasizing legacy, history, and the value of playing on home soil. They're asking players to think about the bigger picture and to consider the pride of representing American basketball. But these arguments, while heartfelt, don't pay the bills, secure families, or provide generational wealth. In professional sports, emotional appeals only go so far. For elite athletes, the clock is ticking. Every year, missed earning top-dollar contracts is lost opportunity. Meanwhile, rumors swirl about internal tension. Some stars are quietly exploring the possibility of jumping ship, while others are publicly defending the league, emphasizing loyalty. The WNBA Players Association, which normally negotiates aggressively for its members, now faces a conflict. Project B is undermining their bargaining power even as negotiations continue. The league's collective bargaining process is no longer just a negotiation, it's a pressure cooker. Every day that passes without a solution increases the likelihood of defections. And every signature Project B secures strengthens their position and weakens the WNBA's. What's perhaps most striking is the optics. With Nico Gamai's defection, the world has seen that even leadership doesn't trust the WNBA's ability to deliver. Executives are left walking a tightrope between persuasion and desperation. They must maintain order, avoid panic, and yet somehow convince their stars to stay. All while watching their competitors write checks that dwarf anything they can offer. It's a tense standoff, and the world is watching. Let's break down why Project B is such a formidable threat. This league isn't relying on hope or hype hits backed by strategy. Billion-dollar investors and a meticulously planned infrastructure. Every element has been designed to attract top talent. Financial packages include salaries that eclipse WNBA earnings by multiples, equity stakes that make players partial owners, and perks that rival or exceed anything available in domestic leagues. Project B's approach is revolutionary. Players no longer have to chase off-season contracts overseas. It's navigating foreign languages, unfamiliar systems, and unstable payments. Instead, they have a league that mirrors the professionalism of American sports. Coupled with the deep pockets of Saudi investment, add world-class facilities, global marketing campaigns, and strategic partnerships, suddenly this isn't just a basketball league, it's a career-defining opportunity. Consider the message sent by Nico Gamai's signing. This isn't about dissatisfaction, it's about opportunity. Project B is signaling that women's basketball players deserve proper compensation, agency, and long-term security. By offering ownership, they're not just paying athletes, they're empowering them. They are turning players into stakeholders. This is a seismic shift in how women's sports are valued globally. Furthermore, the league is smartly structured around the WNBA calendar. Instead of competing head-to-head, they run their season during the off-season, theoretically allowing players to do both. Yet the reality is that financial incentives are so significant that splitting focus becomes unnecessary. Why risk injury or exhaustion in a lower-paying league when a single contract abroad can secure your family's future for decades? The rules of engagement have changed. This financial and structural superiority is exactly why Caitlin Clark's decision is so critical. Signing with Project B doesn't just impact one athlete, it validates an entirely new ecosystem for women's basketball. It's a blueprint for how top players can finally take control of their careers, dictate their worth, and reshape the sport in their own image. The potential ripple effect is staggering. Project B isn't merely offering money, it's creating precedent. Every young player, every rising star, and every established professional now sees that there's a pathway to financial security and professional respect that doesn't require loyalty to an underpaying domestic league. This is the start of a global arms race in women's basketball. If Caitlin Clark joins Project B, it sends a message. The WNBA is no longer the ultimate destination. Players will have real negotiating power, global exposure, and options that were previously unimaginable. Suddenly, overseas leagues are traditionally seen as a necessary evil, are becoming viable, prestigious alternatives. And make no mistake, Project B isn't here to compete quietly. They are here to dominate, to poach stars, and to redefine the market entirely. The stakes for the WNBA are immense. The league's financial model relies heavily on keeping top players in the domestic spotlight. Every departure chips away at ratings, sponsorships, and future revenue. A mass exodus of marquee talent could relegate the WNBA to a developmental or secondary status within the global sports landscape. Conversely, if Project B successfully attracts stars like Caitlin Clark, it could instantly legitimize itself as a Premier League, not just a curiosity. There's also the cultural impact. Women's basketball has long fought for recognition and parity, with Project B offering professionalization, proper compensation, and respect. The conversation about the value of women athletes changes dramatically. This isn't just about contracts, it's about perception, power, and global influence. Players finally have leverage. Agents now have ammunition. And fans will witness an evolution in the sport that could rival any disruption in professional athletics. History at the heart of this, of course, is Caitlin Clark. She is the face of the sport and the ultimate symbol of its future. The world is watching. Every decision she makes will reverberate across arenas, television broadcasts, and social media platforms worldwide. And the truth is, her choice isn't just personal, it's historic. Caitlin Clark's next move could define her career and the trajectory of women's basketball for generations. She has achieved domestic dominance, captured hearts, and built an unprecedented platform. Staying in the WNBA is a safe, familiar option. But Project B represents something radically new: generational wealth, global influence, and the power to reshape the industry. This is more than a contract. It's a turning point. Signing abroad could legitimize Project B instantly, giving them leverage to attract other stars and fundamentally changing how women's professional basketball operates. Players will no longer be constrained by geography or tradition. They will be empowered to demand fair pay, negotiate equity, and take ownership of their careers. For Caitlin, it's not just a financial decision, it's a chance to become a pioneer, a leader, and a game changer. The WNBA faces a stark choice. They can continue appealing to legacy and loyalty, or they can confront the systemic inequities that created this situation. For decades, top players have been underpaid despite generating massive revenue for the league. Project B simply offered the solution the WNBA never did: respect, recognition, and the financial rewards that match talent. Ultimately, Caitlin's decision will send shockwaves. If she chooses Project B, it validates a new era of professional women's sports where players call the shots, demand fair compensation, and have options beyond the domestic spotlight. If she stays, the WNBA retains its top talent, but may also miss a historic opportunity to redefine player empowerment. Either way, the basketball world is at a crossroads. This is a moment that transcends the court. It's a story of ambition, disruption, and evolution. Caitlin Clark isn't just playing a game, she's influencing the global trajectory of her sport. Every fan, every player, and every executive is watching. And when she finally makes her choice, the world will know. Women's basketball will never be the same again.
Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more dives into Hollywood's hidden history.